medicine for the people in Appalachian Rising, and drum circles. They never not existed, but yeah, so that's a little bit of them. And you are now moving into the mid morning coffee in the herbal garden with Slimred. I did just make a podcast a few minutes ago and published it. However, it was a little choppy. This one tried to be a little choppy too. It's going to really start to irritate me. And I'm just going to go off the scene altogether, really. Go back to traditional FM. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, like I was saying, there's a deep roots event that's coming up, which I really, really want to attend, and it's all the hippie fest, which kind of shouldn't be said that, because I guess that really came from when they were trying to demonize people who just want to love the earth, and they just can't let that happen, of course. You know, cute story. My son and I, my oldest daughter, was outside yesterday, and we have a tree. The tree kind of needs a haircut. I'm not gonna lie, but Ian, as his name, he's 7, and my oldest, she's 16, and her name is Felicity. And we were telling Ian, we were like, Ian, the tree is alive, and you're breaking its branches, you're pulling on it, and he didn't quite grasp it. And he was like, everything's alive, then why do we eat it? Blah, 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 blah. And we had to go down through it. Then Felicity throws in that lettuce can actually hear you crunching on it, and or whatever, I don't know. So he's like, what? Blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, all of a sudden he just hugs the tree. And he's like, he's like, oh, give the tree a hug. And I was like, yeah, and they did a study where trees could feel the vibrations and you could change it. You could see it through a lie detector test, the up and down. It experiences fear, it experiences happiness, sadness, blah, blah, blah. Think about that. That's a deep, deep connection. And you can even work that into the golden mean or the thumbprint of life, or the frequency vibration or the renaissance, that all of life runs on the same vibe through that thumbprint, that spiral. So I was like, the tree smells good, don't it? And it actually does smell good. So we hugged a tree and smelled it, and appreciated its life for just a moment. And that's the good things that you need to teach people, because she's crying right now. She is seriously crying. But anyway, the Deep Roots Revival happening in Masontown, West Virginia, is the Deep Roots Mountain Revival. It's been around for a couple years or more, and I really, really, really want to attend. So anyway, there's a little trailer from the Deep Roots. Unfortunately, where I'll be, I will be at band camp. Maybe. Yeah, because it's over the 23rd. So hopefully I might be able to make it down there. Anyway, it's July 20th through the 22nd. Here's some headliners. Brandy, Charlie, and the Lettuce will be joined by JJ Gray and Mofro, Moon Taxi, White Denim, Drake White. And the list goes on. So there's a summer tour. Right now, it looks like they're in, where are you? Doesn't matter. Okay, so really cool. Really cool. All right. So yesterday on the Sour Patch segment, we were talking about quite a few ethical topics that are going down right now, and even so with just some of the healthcare act that's happening and how we're growing organs that's also happening. And so some people believe that it's scary, which it could be. What's even scarier is praying mantises are killing birds and eating their brains worldwide. And if you have been all over Facebook and social media, you would have seen this trending. However, praying mantises are known to hunt down birds and eat their brains slowly. Very interesting. And if you've seen a picture, it's hanging off of something and grab the bird by its head to pierce the skull to feed on the brain tissue. Very, very weird, right? And we're talking about orcas attacking stuff and killing the sharks. I just went totally around the bend on that, right? The left field with the whole conversation. Yeah, so we were covering a lot of topics yesterday. And one of the ones that I've been covering myself on a personal note was how we always hear a lot of stuff in the news about, even way back when, beginning in 2008, 2011, 2012, with bin Laden and going in and taking him out under bin Laden, or I mean, Obama. Yeah, because they're about the same person to me. And we were so caught up in how he was such a good president and blah, blah, blah. And then we must have overlooked when they had said, and when I say us, because not everybody, just the American people, or what our news and things like that had led us to see and believe and things like that. Yeah, so here's for you. I couldn't get my deck to load music other than a couple old rap songs that I had in there. I'm missing my hard drive, so I have a lot of sound effects. Hard drive is missing. Lost with all the socks in dryer land. Or Elmo and Grouch land. That's where all the missing socks are. Anyway, so they claim, which I doubt this is true too, that he's the first president to get approval outside of American Congress to destabilize a nation, which would have been Libya. And Benghazi, we all heard that and the whole thing and this accusations back and forth and all fucking 20 years of it. That's an exaggeration, but it feels like it. Probably isn't an exaggeration to a degree. But so back to the story. Along with the Arab League and NATO and not Congress, negative on the Congress or us, our people we vote for to put in there, which is a pieces of shit too. And so they went in, they destabilized this, they broke down basically like old crusade style, burning documents, disrupting the police force, taking down the government, and everything that you would see in a movie, because that's basically where a good writer gets, is drawing from experience and blah blah blah. And now we know that it's all fabricated and put out there for you anyway. And in turn, this created, they use the word like a vacuum, which makes sense. But anyway, what it created was a bunch of chaos and anarchy and destabilization and taking down the citizens and the whole structure of society. And then they let all of these people in jail and stuff get out, and they create a militant group out of it. And we know this, and when they're saying that they bombed babies and kids, well, yeah, they did. That's what they've been doing, and they continue to do so. And it baffles me that some of you think that that isn't what's in consideration, when that's the only thing that should be in consideration when they're over there, because we don't understand what it's like to have a bunch of soldiers fighting, running through our neighborhoods without the chance of being evacuated. And then where the hell are you going to be evacuated to when they're dropping bombs and all kinds of weird warfare type weapons? And it's been like that for a really, really long time. So if you're wondering why people are pissing on the American flag or why people automatically hate a race or are racist, you have to understand the conditioning. And I talk about that a lot on the air, and I'm not going to get into that. But I understand now what's going on. I think that's a piece of shit thing to do for the president, and we won't go back and throw salt on the wounds. But if you flip forward to what is going on now, and then all of the media and the hate that it just created, tremendous fucking biased and people who don't understand anything, because I had seen a a an article, and I don't even know if it's real or if it isn't, about the Hell Angels beating up a Muslim, and this is the title: Hell's Angel beats up Muslim immigrant who attacked a woman. Now, the point is the Hell's Angels beats up any man who attacks a woman or any kind of injustice they feel they're going to go. That's their thing. You know, whether it's a bullying kid. I just read one about a Hispanic kid who was being bullied, so all the bikers grouped up together and took the kid to school and, you know, did an anti-bully thing or whatever. So you can't necessarily, and then he's all like, yay, yay, it's a Muslim fuck, they all suck, they're roaches of the earth, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, that's cool for your opinion on what you want to say from your racist point of view. Who am I? But that's not the title of the article is misleading, and that's where shit is fucked up. So fuck you again. If I'm slimred. And then that leads me into how we were talking about yesterday about vaccinations. And I wouldn't say that I'm against vaccinations, but I also wouldn't say that I'm for them. I do believe that things like that you take a risk of putting any foreign thing inside of your body. And they even have money set aside for you and in anticipation of these side effects or undesired effect of something, for you to claim your share if something wrong was to happen. So right there, you know, that's personal responsibility as well as them. But when it comes to a point, and this is where even I can't wrap my head around, and it would probably make you an extremely paranoid person, and is when they do things to us without our consent, then who are they? Quotation marks. Who are they? And who are they to do what they are doing? And that's where these ethical concerns begin to fall in. And she had seen, and there have been reports, but there's always one-sided reports too. And we learned that when we were, you know, learning about mental illness. And I'll get into that a little bit. But and there, you know, that all these so many cases of kids dying, and in 2015 and earlier before that, they were saying how measles outbreaks over in California and other countries, and with these anti non-vaccination groups, and they always begin to put labels on them, and then we do this word association thing, and word association is very, very dangerous. And when it warns you how mighty the tongue is, mightier than the sword, or the pen is mightier than the sword, it really means that your tongue that breathes life to those words that flow from that pen to the paper is mightier than the sword. Now, I don't think I have to go into an explanation of that. So we see all these different terms and word association and conditioning, and it's generations deep, and the news plays upon that, and we all know that. So when they're all attacking fake news, it's all fake anyway. And they all report only what they want. And I'm not attacking news because here I am reporting it.